Want to remind everybody that this is starts the beginning of October, which is time for you all to remember to give your non-taxable, non-deductible contributions to the Torah Talks, because this is not a free show. It costs us money. It's costing Levi. He's been forced to be kicked out of his house because not enough of you are giving.
Giving up my health insurance tomorrow.
Giving up your health insurance.
For the first time ever.
Because I had to do that.
My new apartment.
I had to do that. I had
so
to.
I'm gonna have to go visit Rabs' minority doctors in the hellhole that you go to.
Student doctors, not even doctors.
Wait around 6 hours to have someone feel my gonads.
Forget about being Jewish. You're the only person there who's white.
Oy vey. Really hit bottom now. So I'll take payment in kind, like you can just invite me over for a Shabbos meal, or take me out to lunch, or you can donate money.
All right.
Keep the dream alive, folks. Keep hope alive. Hope and change.
All right, and so that's what's going on there. So I want to remind you all that this is this top of the month, time to start sending your money. Hit the PayPal, send the checks, the money orders, the traveler's checks, right, and take Levi out for a drink. Okay, so we did that piece. I also want to point out that I posted a note on Facebook, and this is my yearly appeal, right? It's Rosh Hashanah time. This is the time of, it says, B'Rosh Hashanah yikasevu v'yom Kippur yechasemu. That it says on, where are you going? Did I tell you could leave?
Oh, my back.
It says on Rosh Hashanah, everything is written down in a book, and on Yom Kippur, everything is sealed into that book. What does that mean? It means that God writes our names into, there's two books, if you will, that are open in front of God on Rosh Hashanah time. One book is the Book of Good Life, and the other book is the other book, right? And everything is determined on that day. You're written into one of the two books, and it's determined, you know, if you're going to be rich, if you're going to be poor, if you're going to have great health, if you're going to lose your medical insurance, if you're going to wax rich, if you're going to end up living in a house that you can't do a number 2.
Exactly.
You
it's
know,
no laughing matter if you take them at a muesli.
You know, this is. Are you going to have success with women, or you end up going to be jacking off watching Luke4.com? This is the kind of.
Oh, watching yourself, like watching your own Torah Talk videos. I mean,
that's
how low is that?
Sick.
Like,
that
with
is
your pants
sick.
around your ankles.
Oh, that is sick.
That is so bad.
That is sick.
That is a new low.
Oh, no, just talking about it is the new low part. Okay, so that's what's going on. This is all determined on the first week of the year. The rest of the year is all predetermined. However, it says there are 3 things that can avert the decree. We talked about this many times. The 3 T's. What are they?
Tefillah, tzedakah, and tefillah, tzedakah, I've forgotten.
Tshuva.
Oh, and tshuva.
Right.
No wonder I've forgotten.
That's atonement, prayer, and giving charity. So giving charity can change your whole destiny. Everything can be predestined, and no matter how bad your destiny would be, theoretically, you can change that. You can avert that according to the Torah by giving charitably to people in need. I am one in need. I, at this point, think you're actually going to join the Levi's in need. So now is the time that you want to write your checks. Be sealed for the good. Gemar Chasima Tova. We should all be sealed, written and sealed for the good, right? Because just because you were written for one thing doesn't mean that's done. You know, because if you were written in the wrong book, you can be taken out of that book, sealed into the right book. So right now, very important. Head to your PayPals, head to your books, your checkbooks. Give charitably to Levi and I. Save your own skin this year. Do it for yourself. Do it for your soul.
So on the upside, I'm moving into a bigger and nicer apartment. On the downside, it's costing me my health insurance. Kind of, but
right. All right. You have anything before I brought up? I have a couple of topics I wanted to bring up.
I've blathered enough.
You blathered. Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, there are a couple of things I wanted to follow up on something we touched about a couple of weeks ago. It was in your place. It was the last show we did in your place, and when you still had health insurance.
Oh, I long for those days. They have this rosy hue, as I remember what it was like to have to go to see a doctor, at the appropriate time, not have to wait 5 hours, and find one who got their medical degree in the United States, not in Botswana.
Right, but on the upside, although you did have, I don't think you had a beard anymore. All right, so whatever. Now, we talked about a couple of people that night. We talked about Rubashkin and we talked about Pollard. Do you remember that? We had like a quick discussion, like who was going to get out of jail first or something. Right. Remember that? That was like a couple weeks ago. I have a follow-up on both things I wanted to talk about. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I found, I was going on the internet and I was going through like YouTube and whatever, and one of the sites that I always tell people to go to is like, go to like Shalom Across America. There's a YouTube channel called that. So they put up a new video. I don't know if anybody saw it. They just put up a new video, and the person who put up the video, like there's like there's like a caption like it says details of the video.
Yeah.
There was something that was written. It was just put up there, and it was just came out because last time we talked about how the appeals, that they lost the appeals, right?
Yeah.
And this video came up since that time.
Yeah.
And there was a thing underneath it that it describes the video.
Yeah.
And the video itself is talking about the appeals and the problem of the like we talked about. What do you call that? The conflict of interest of the appellate judge, and how it was the same kind of stuff we talked about. We talked about how it is the appearance of impropriety, and it looks like the conflict of interest that the judge who's the subject of the appeal is sitting in the courtroom that day in a different city, working a case with two appellate judges who are going to be sitting on the Rubashkin case later that same afternoon. You remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
This video talks about the same stuff we talked about,
yeah.
Okay? It's very interesting, and I want to read this if I could, okay? I copied it and pasted it right here, okay? I'm going to read it. It says, this video was shot a few months ago, but was not released to the public in fear that questioning the Eighth Circuit judges, the judges' ability to be fair and unbiased, would offend them and affect the ruling. We now know the answer to the second half of the question. Too bad it was raised then. It sounds like it's possible. I want to get your take on this. Is it possible, Levi, that the person is saying behind the lines, behind the scenes, that they had this information in this video, the same information that we talked about, but they sat on it because they didn't want to offend the judges before they made their ruling, and offend them, and now they know that the answer to the second half, meaning it'll affect the ruling, it did affect the ruling, but they didn't announce it yet. Is that a stab at us?
Yeah, too bad it was raised then.
Too bad it was raised then. As if to say that it was done by us, and we affected the ruling. Yeah. Like we screwed over Rubashkin because we shut our mouths off. Yeah. Do you think that's what the person's alluding to? Yeah, maybe. So is that a shot at us?
Could be.
That's a shot at us?
Could be. Could be.
Okay,
I'm saying it is.
It could be. If it is, and you guys can judge for yourself, okay? If that is a shot against Levi and I want to rebuttal it. Yeah. And I think that, and you can rebuttal it yourself too if you want, your own way. But I say that's absurd, and here's why. Okay? If the judges are that susceptible to what is put out there in the public domain, by the media or by what's on the internet, then they should excuse themselves from any trial. They're not qualified to be sitting on a trial, regardless. They shouldn't be affected by that. They should be impervious to that. It shouldn't matter what critics say on the outside. It shouldn't matter what the press says or what just some idiot like me on the internet, right, says. It really shouldn't matter to them. If it does matter to them, and they don't like it, and they use that to affect their judgment, then I question their judgment across the board. They took an oath to uphold whoever they are. Any judge anywhere in the world takes an oath